So instead of sending electricity 400 kilometers into the run of Kutch, why can't you just generate power there and give it to people? If it's solar, or if it's wind, or if it's biomass, or you connect it to a Sulabh Shauchalaya and it burns off of biogas, or whatever it might be. But it turned out that that business model wasn't going to work and nobody was ready to give us money, so okay. So we decided, what's the next biggest problem in the country? We were starting from the basics, right? Kapra, bijli, makan, pani. Right? Next problem is water. Can you use the same idea in water? Can you find a way to give people access to water in their village? Many villages have water. Right? But today if I said, let's go on a field trip and let's go to Sabarkantha district, everybody will bring water with them. You know, घर में गाड़ी पैक करके लेके आएंगे पानी. Hey, in some sort of bottle. Why? Because you're going to be thirsty? No. Then you go to someone's house and you say politely, sorry. Why? It's water. You don't trust it. You don't know, will it make me sick? We are aware of this. There is water there, but it's not drinkable. So how can we solve that problem? Let's make it drinkable. How do people make it drinkable? If I live in Ahmedabad, what do? I put a machine in my house, or the society puts a machine in their house, in the building, or whatever it might be, and I get a UV or whatever it might be, right? AquaGuard or RO or Tata Swatch or whatever it might be. Okay, so let's put a machine there. Right? Now what's the problem with that? Machines cost money. Who's going to pay for the machine? If you go to the government to pay for the machine, then the person installing the machine feels like, you know, theek hai, machine dal diya. We looked at all these people. There's lots of programs in the country where government gives a subsidy for a machine. But you know what that problem is? After 1 year, those machines aren't running. You know why they're not running? Because nobody thought about what you would do to keep them running. Machine dalna tha, machine dal diya. That's not the point. Machine dalne ka matlab kya tha? Log ko pani peena chahiye. So how do you incentivize to connect it with drinking of water? So we thought about this. Then the next problem was, there's a lot of political issues with water, right? Pani kaise bechega? Right? It's something that we all should, I feel that too, it's true. How do you sell people water? No one has a problem selling an AquaGuard. They have a problem selling water. Right? So we're not selling water. We're selling a water cleaning service. गांव का पानी है, गांव का पानी हम साफ कर रहे हैं. If you want it, you can get it. Otherwise, drink the water you have. No problem. The second problem with that is something we need to understand about water. I'm talking about a problem-solving piece here. So if you get lost, raise your hand and ask me a question. Right? Water is very heavy. Right? If you wanted to courier this bottle to Mumbai today, it would cost you 150 rupees. Because 1 liter is 1 kilo. Right? Or pani ka kimmat 150 rupees nahi hai. So how do you deal with this as an issue? You can't transport water cheaply. The best solution is to make it non-transported. Put it in the village somehow. So you don't want to take it from one village and move it to another village. So what do we try to figure out? How do we put the water in that village? So you buy your own water from your own village. There are a bunch of issues with this. How do you make sure that the person selling the water is incentivized correctly? And our feeling was, well, the best answer to all of these things was to make someone a franchisee. Right? Someone in that village earns their daily rojgari from selling of water. And not selling of water to a third party. Right? Selling of water to their neighbors. Padosi ko hi bechna hai. That's all it is. They're all people you know. Acha pani aapko peena chahiye. You suddenly have an ambassador. Right? You have a person in a village who says, you know, my self-worth, mera rojgari is from whether or not people drink water. What else do? We say, okay, we'll put the machine there for free. Expensive machine, it costs 2.5 lakhs. We put the machine there for free. And the only way we actually pay for the machine is people drink water. Right? Take care, we're patient. 3 saal lagega, 4 saal lagega to get the money back. Okay. Next problem. In villages, who's going to come and repair the machine? So we have to solve that problem. We came up with a service and maintenance mechanism where that is something that we're responsible for. Okay? How are you going to collect money from the village? From a business perspective, गांव में आप फोगट में मशीन दे देंगे तो पैसा कौन देगा? So we're trying to solve that by using technology to make it prepaid, like a mobile phone. You want to use your phone, you have to pay 10 rupees to get a recharge. Same way, you want to sell water to the village, machine chalane ke liye aapko paisa dena padega. And we send an SMS and the machine turns on. Right? It's all about solving problems. The key piece of social enterprise is that you're walking up a very, very big hill. Right? You need to find answers. It's not for people who don't want to do the work to find answers. It's very hard work. Try to find a franchisee in a village and you'll spend 3 months of your time going, how do I trust this person? How do I know if I give them a machine that they'll give it back? How do I know that this person is trustable in the village? How do you know he's not going to cheat the quality of water? All of these things are issues that have to be resolved. How do you resolve them? Many of those things are trial and error. In fact, that's often the case of social enterprise in general. We've done a lot of other social enterprises. Like we have a rural BPO in Rajasthan called Source for Change, which is only staffed by women. Right? Again, a very hard thing to do. This is in, Shekhawati, Marwadi area that is very conservative in its values. First day when we started, people came, marne ke liye aaye the, what are you doing? You're taking my daughter and wife and teaching her computers? Right? Ek saal ke baad, wahi log aake they came with another person. They came with their daughter-in-law or their brother's wife and say, unko bhi naukri de do. But to do that, you had to work for a year. And you had to deal with people, throwing stones at you, gali dete, sab karte, theek hai. That's what we've come to do. Our purpose in that was we want to provide meaningful employment in villages that connects to the modern world, but specifically for women, because we think you can change families by employing women. We have another social enterprise that we've started called MobileNaukri, and its purpose is very simple. Right now, if you go to something like Naukri.com or any of these other organizations that do job searches, then it's all about urban jobs. Or it's urban people going to rural areas who use computers, or rural people coming to urban areas. Now, what if I'm in a rural area and I want to work in a rural area? Where do I go? How do I know if there's a gaum in Sabarkantha that has a dairy that's looking for someone to work there, or someone that needs a driver, or someone that needs XYZ? So we're trying to build a system that does that. Right? We're trying to use technology on in terms of fancy new phones like iPhone and Android and all these things, to see if you can actually use that to deliver better services to villages in a smart way, like a computer. But all of it is to solve problems. Again, farmers don't have information on markets that could make them earn more, or they don't have information on weather, or people aren't able to get information on health services that are available, whatever that may be. Can you create some kind of service that does that? If you realize that social enterprise, or enterprise in any case, but particularly that with a social tint, is about solving problems, and everywhere you look there's some work to be done. That's rule number one, right? So I'm done with this phase. Now the second piece of this, okay, I have an idea, how do I make this happen? And that's actually, a good question. Many of us feel that we have to be beggars with an idea. We're full of ideas, but we have to go out and beg for people to support us and convince them that this is worthwhile and whatever it might be. Right? I'll give you my experience in this. The only way to convince people that your idea is worthwhile is to show people that it works. Right? So don't think grand, I'm going to go to somebody and say, I need 10 crore rupees so I can solve.